So, welcome to this tutorial video on the Aerobask Phenom 300 for XPlane 11. My name is Guillaume. I am the documentation and QA guy at Aerobask, and this is the Phenom 300 in release candidate, so just the version before release. We are today at Dole Airport, Lima Fox Golf Juliet in France, in the Phenom 300. Just preparing for the departure. So today on this video we are going to get through the procedures, how everything is going, and how to use the documentation according to the aircraft. So there is a lot to do. This is going to be quite a long video, about an hour, depending on the cuts. So for situation, we are at Dole on VATSIM and we are going to Chambéry, Lima Fox Lima Bravo on the Phenom 300. Cruise altitude today will be flight level 170, and we are taking off with a few passengers and about a ton of fuel. So let's get right in the cockpit and get ready for departure. So welcome in the cockpit. Everything is cold and dark. I have set up already some things to be on, and we are going to get through the procedures. So first of all, what we want to do is energize the aircraft, so you can hear that we have the GPU connected, and we will just go from left to right. It's a left to right flow in this aircraft, so left on my mouse, left, middle, below, then right, and then up the panel, NFD, PFD, etc. So let's go and push restore the oxygen, push to restore, then we will check that everything is on normal, especially the electric panel, so both GPU are auto, it's GPU is available. I said GPU, no, generators are auto, GPU is available. Both bleed are, all the bleed panel is auto, test is off, we have the hydraulics closed for the moment, fuel pumps both on, close shield. Check that everything is up and straight, basically. The anti-ice we want it all down, except the ADS probe we want it on auto. We are going to check that both engines are stopped, engine ignition is auto checked, flaps are up, and it's confirmed by the if you go to the external view, we can see that the flaps are up. Split brake closed, parking brake set, throttle idle, and on my throttle quadrant 2, ECS both, and pressurization auto, emergency light, we can arm them already, and we are good to power the aircraft without anything happening that we don't want to happen. So battery 1, battery 2, avionics come online, so initializing, and the ISI is aligning too. Yeah, you can see. Okay, door packs, door bag here, GPU, schedules, it's normal, press enter. Both engines are indicating off. We have the fuel quantity we need, so it's a ton today. And the TOWS test is in progress.
TOWS system test, okay.
The TOWS test is completed. That's very good. We are waiting for the TCAS test to complete. There you go. This is indicating that the TCAS test is in progress.
TCAS test pass.
It's quite fast to boot up the avionic, in fact, so we're quite pleased with that. We are waiting for the IESI to align, and we are going to discuss about the flight. So right now you will be seeing the Jepsen chart appearing, so the navigation chart, sorry, where we're going to discuss. So Dole is quite special as an airport. It doesn't include any SID or star. It's completely normal. So we have to apply a recommended ISR departure procedure. Today the weather indicates us that we are going to use runway 05, so we are just at the private parking. At holding point 05 at Q3 we are going to backtrack 05, line up and depart. The departure is straight ahead to 1000 feet indicated, then we are going to perform a right turn, climbing to flight level 170 until our first point. This is called an omnidirectional departure, completely normal. So, let's go to the electric page. We can see that GPU is connected and our voltages are good, 28 volt, but to avoid draining the battery, we are going to plug in the GPU. So we just click on avail. We can see that GPU connected 28 volt is good for me, and you heard the recirculation fan kicking in. So this is not the air conditioning, this is just a fan pushing air across the cabin. Very nice addition. We can do a test of the signs. We have the sound, it's working. Go to transponder and set it in standby. This is quite an important step actually, especially if you fly online like we are today. You want the transponder to be on standby because on the Phenom it's automatic. But if it's on the off position, it's completely inhibited, so it will never work. You put it in standby and then basically forget about it. It will kick on alticoder whenever you lift off the wheels, where you weight off the wheel. So it's quite neat, especially for your online sims. By the way, for you flying online, on the documentation you will see tips and tricks. Everyone will see a tips and trick, but you will find the radio equipment codes and PBN codes for this particular aircraft, so pretty nice addition I think. So let's get started with the before start checklist. We want to perform the checklist because it includes the cockpit preparation, and then we will plug in the flight plan in the FMS, startup, and then taxi. So I have my checklist with me. Before start checklist, pre-flight and test. The pre-flight is completed, the tests have not been performed, so we are going to perform them right now. So we go on the test panel right here. We want to perform the engine fire test, so you push start and you hold the start test for the entire duration of the test. So
Fire.
I see
Fire.
CAS message, fire on the ITT, and I see the both shut-off lights are on.
Fire.
Very good. Then this baggage smoke detection. I see back smoke.
Fire. Fire.
Good. And then we are going to test the annunciators. So I see 1 light, 2 lights, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lights. It is very good. Okay. Pre-flight and test completed. The oxygen bottle is pushed. Yeah, push to restore, sorry. Packs auto, and we go to the status page, and the oxygen press is for dispatch. Oxygen press is for dispatch is anything in the clip. Electrical panel checked, superior at 27 volts, and GPU is connected. Lead panel all auto. Fuel panel pumps on, crossfeed off. Hydraulic pumps off. We have to set them on open, so open. Pusher cutout is pushed out, so light off and no CAS message. Eyes protection and ADS off, ADS auto as required. Engine fire panel, everything is pushed out, so covered and pushed. The bottle is off. Engine start stop knobs are in the stop position, and on the IES AC off 2 times. Ignition both auto. Thrust levers idle. Flaps and speed brakes. Flap 0 speed brake closed. It is confirmed by the MFD system page. Parking brake is set and the light is on. Doors will be closed. The before start checklist is completed. So now that we have everything set up electrically and system wise, we are going to plug the flight plan. So we got flight plan, we are at Lima Foxtrot Juliet, and our route today is very simple. We'll take us direct to Nil Pa. Papa Alpha, there you go friends, agreed. Enter, enter. Then Salev. Sierra Alpha Lima Echo Victor. Enter, enter. And then Lima Foxtrot Lima Bravo. Enter, enter. Good. You're good to go. So, it will be a very short flight, just about 100 nautical miles, give or take. Yeah, a little bit less, 90. So, that is done. Yeah, there is no discontinuity. There is no seat to kick in, but we can go to procedures, select departure. You see none, but you will have, if there is any SID, it's here that you will select. Cool. So, while we are here, I want to discuss about the V-speeds real quick. So, if you click on the AV tab here, if you have the AV tab, otherwise you just click here to have the menu. We'll do it that way. You have the V-speeds option. So, the V-speeds are taken from the documentation, the performance manual. You will see a lot of tables. And do not be afraid, there is a guide for table. And our conditions today gave us the following numbers: V1 equal VR at 104 knots, V2 115, VFS, so flaps safe, so that's the speed we will retract the flaps, at 132. You will find the... I will put a picture of the table I used and how to read it. We can see our weight today is 7351, and I will include here a photo of the takeoff landing card that I used for the departure. Here. About our climb profile, we will be using a noise abatement procedure, a standard one, so that will be hold takeoff thrust until 1000 feet AGL, then reduce to climb thrust V2 plus 10 with the flaps out until 3000 feet AGL, then let it accelerate, clean up the aircraft, and continue climbing on climb thrust. This is a standard noise abatement departure on any jet of any airport in the world. There you go. For me we are almost ready, so we are going to close the door and perform the startup. Okay, so doors are closed, confirmed, and there is no CAS message. I have GPU connected, shed bus off. This is completely normal. What you want to do is just open the timer, so you have an idea of how the engine start is going. This is a little bit tricky because the buttons on XPlane, for me at least, does not work on the G1000. If I push the timer button on my yoke, it's not working. So you have to. What I found, which is pretty close to what it is, you just select the engine start, stop on run, then press enter and quickly set to start. This is approximately good. So, nav light on because they also have the beacon. Clear on the right, clear on the left, and we are going to start. So, engine 2 first, run, timer, and start. I see N2, N1, fuel flow, ITT, oil pressure. We have a top at 720 plus or minus, and stable engine in 29 seconds, which is standard. Reset the timer. Typical, we can see that the generator 2 has kicked in and is connected. Very good. And we'll do the same on the left engine. So left side is clear. Engine 1 run. Start the timer. Start. ICN2. N1. Fuel flow. ITT. Oil pressure is coming up. Top up at 710. And the engine is stable in 28, 29 seconds. Very much standard. So, just can quit the timer. And now we are going to do the after start. So, both generators are connected. I don't need the GPU anymore. So, available. No, GPU is connected and both generators have the relay. I will go to the menu, ground power unit, and close the GPU panel. So, all my hatches are closed, the doors are closed, I have no CAS message. And I will perform the stall protection warning system test. So, you just display the yoke, it's better. You can pull it all the way, like in the real aircraft, and just press and hold start test.
Stall, stall. Stall, stall.
And you can see that we have a stick pusher animation, which works. So you have a realistic stick pusher on the aircraft, which is available. If you are, if by any reason the pusher is engaging in flight and doesn't need, you can, in an emergency, push on the pusher cutout here to just inhibit the system and continue your flight. Be aware, you should avoid slow flights and high angle of attack with the pusher cutout engaged. So, let's do our after start checklist. First of all, just before that I forget, we have to test the electrical emergency. So, you want to see the voltage of the batteries. You push electrical MR, and you have to check that the battery voltage is not draining in any way. 28 volts stable, very good. You close it. So, after start checklist, the GPU is disconnect electrical emergency above 23.5 volts pushed out. Stall protection tested. Takeoff data set. The trim. So, to test the trim, just take the button of your yoke, push it all the way down,
Trim.
wait for the trim message, and
Trim.
then push it about
Trim.
the same position. You have to be in the green range for the takeoff trim to be set. So trims, rotor and yaw are displaying 0 and our pitch trim is 7.2 in the green range. Eyes protection not required. Flaps set for takeoff will be a flaps 1 takeoff. So I select flaps 1 and indicated. We are good to go. So, after start checklist completed, taxi light, parking brake is off, clear left, clear right. We are just going to taxi to the holding point, so I will add a little bit of thrust. Okay, brake check, checked, and we are moving. This is just a flight control check, and take the center line to not damage the wing on the doorway. So, dull traffic, Evolem 225, type Phenom 300 is running. It's entering runway 05 for backtrack from Juliet. Dull. That was our radio message. On Unicom at VATSIM, 05 final is clear, 23 looks clear to me. Here we go. So we are entering the runway, strobe and everything on. Before takeoff actions, so takeoff config.
Takeoff. Okay.
Takeoff okay. Everything on auto everywhere. This is test knob is going to be off, forget that. Windshield we don't need, anti-ice we don't need. The pressurization is auto, the engines run, auto. We are good to go, just set. Flight level 170, QNH is 1023, I forgot to set it up. That is a very grave mistake. Normally we want it to be set up before starting. And I will just kick the 053 heading, which is the heading of the runway we are going to use for takeoff. So, then you will use your takeoff data card for your briefing, so I will just make a quick briefing. We are taking off on runway 05, it's a dry runway, flaps 1 at 7,340 kilograms, so we are below maximum landing weight. This is important. This will be a standard takeoff. Anything below 70 knots I will call stop, idle, and we'll stop on the runway. Any important failure, so engine failure, engine fire, loss of thrust or loss of control, below between 70 knots and V1, which is 104, we will stop on the runway. After V1 we are committed to fly, and we will just maintain a VF4, so below the first ceiling is at 280 feet, 2,800 feet AGL. So we will just maintain VF4, make a circuit pattern, and come back and land on runway 05. For departure, it's an omnidirectional departure, straight ahead from 05 to 1150 feet indicated, then right turn direct to Milpa and climb to flight level 170. The squawk is 1000 and departure frequency 122 simulated. There you go. I hope you don't have any questions. If not, we are all ready to go. The before start checklist. Takeoff config, takeoff OK, CAS, checked empty, signs, P-belt off. Yaw damper is off, ice protection not required and not tested. ATR is showing, below the line, PAX advised, exterior lights are set, and transponder is automatic. Before takeoff check is completed. Our minimum takeoff fuel is 710, we have 985, so that is good. Just proper lineup on the runway. I was climbing a bit. Okay, here we are, lineup on the runway. Synchronize the heading. So, let's get ready for takeoff, just do a radio message and we are on our way. Dull traffic, Evolen 225, traffic Phenom 300, taking off 05, that would be a southbound departure, IFR, dull traffic. Two good engines, takeoff. ATR green, takeoff thrust is set. Cross check. You will rotate. Positive right. Gear up.
How would you lower that nose a little bit, Captain? You're kind of going space shuttle status on me.
400 feet. Flight level change. Right turn and climb. Climb thrust. Heading bug, and we are taking right to Milpa. You have a lot of things to do. That way. So gear is up indicated, flaps for the moment stay. Takeoff config. Little bit of turbulence here. So for the moment you can see that I am manually flying the aircraft because it is fun. And we are reaching 1000 feet here, so indicating speed to 160 knots. Above VFS, flap 0, yaw damper 1. Entering IMC, icing conditions, engines and wing stand. Direct to Milpa. And navigation, GPS screen, indicating airspeed 220 knots. Okay, 220. Bumpy today. So, we are passing flight level 70. We are going to switch to standard barrow. So, PMB, standard barrow back. And then on my top 73 top on IESI and the PFD, altimeters are compared and autopilot is on. It's time for the after takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist, landing gear is up and indicated flaps up. Trim warning. It's okay. Yaw damper on. Thrust levers, climb, pressurization, checked it's pressurizing. Altimeters, cross checked ice protection is not required anymore and exterior lights are going to be set. So we are out of the icing conditions because we are in clear skies, so wing stab, engine. So the trim warning is currently a bit annoying because we have set it up a little too sensitive. It will be corrected in a future update, so do not worry about that. This warning is, as I said earlier, to avoid a trim rollout. So we passed above flight level 100, so landing lights off, and the airspeed will increase to 230 knots. The after takeoff checklist is completed, and we are pretty much good to go. I know that there is Geneva approach connected. I don't know if it is still the case. No, it's not. So we are. We are not talking to anybody. So as you can see, it's a pretty simple aircraft. Once you know the procedures and the flows, it's quite easy to use. Nevertheless, it requires a little bit of self-discipline to operate as a single pilot, because you can see that it is a very high performance aircraft and still have its own things, its own behavior, so you have to be on top of it. So it will be a really quick flight. Flight level 170 is about to be reached, and we are going to discuss about the arrival at Chambéry Airport very soon. Just have to check the meter because we are not using the TAF here. Latest meter should have come on. Yay. So, wind is north, 7 knots. Oh, that's interesting. So, Chambéry Airport, if you don't know, is a bit special in France because you are completely stuck in mountains, so it's a very beautiful scenery to have. I actually have the France VR for scenery for it, and I hope you will love it. 1000 before, 500 checked. And it is kept nicely. I don't want it to accelerate too much, however, because we are going to descend soon. I just want to have time to set it up properly, because, as I said, Chambéry is quite beautiful. So, we are on course to Milpa, flight level 170. we are expecting the Salem arrival. Yeah, we are going to negotiate. Yeah, we are going to do this full Salem one Papa arrival until Pirov because it's interesting and you see how the aircraft behaves. So yeah, let's plug that in the FMS, set arrival, Salem, the 1 alpha, where is the 1 alpha? Oh, the 1 alpha is for another. So, Salem 1 Papa, all runways, load, and you want to go in the flight plan, and check that you have Salem, Pinot, Colo, Level, Kenzo, Governor here, as the waypoints out. You will have an island chart too. So, it's all good. And there is only one approach, and so approach it's the ILS 17 Zulu from Pirov, but the minimums are not the one of the ILS because we are going to make a visual pattern for runway 36, so that will be interesting. I hope I will not mess things up. It's very high probability of me messing this up. It's quite difficult to do a proper visual pattern on the simulator, but hey, if you don't try it, you don't know it. So, the EPT-36 starts at 1,880 feet, so just plug that barrel reference. So this aircraft is not certified with radio altimeter minimum, so you will just have to put the barrel 1 on the chart, be aware of that. M80, enter, I want to load it. So, I want 115.4. Ready. And I already have 150.5. Just going to heading mode, and then the CDI, yeah, and I have to adjust the course to match 179. Which is set, CDI, and nav, ICGPS, we are going to do. So, let's discuss about the arrival. We took off with 1,000 kilograms of fuel at 7,300 and we have burned already 200 kilograms, so that will make us landing at about 700,000 kilograms. It will be a flaps 4 landing, runway 36, which is dry. No ice protection required. And I go to my documentation and I go to approach data on the performance documentation. We will have a photo popping right now. So, we are doing engine approach flaps 2 and landing flaps full, engine ice protection off and wing stab off at 7,000 kilograms, so that is 111 on the VRF and VATSIM, and VFS is 126, which will be our VA approach to 126 and 111, 111 on the board. Then if I go on the speed, I set it to 111, 111, 126. Good to go. Plugged in, we have the barrel minimums. So our landing fuel will be around 800 kilograms. Our out-time trim only, it's good. You pay attention to the trim, especially if it's the warning, because if there is a trim rollout, you're in deep trouble. We have to descend Rhino to flight level 110. Bit behind the plane, I have to admit, so flight level 110 for the moment. We will not be level as static, I think. And you go vertical speed, and for the vertical speed, take your ground speed and multiply it by 5, so 330, that's 1,600 feet per minute, approximately. And we'll just reduce the speed. The first. There you go. Wind check to come on. Descent checklist, approach briefing will be completed, landing data set, wind chill heat is on, sign outlet on, and ice protection set. I'm just finishing off this, alternate fuel I have 300, final is 300, time to hold, I have 200 kilograms of fuel, that is about 30 minutes of hold. In case of go around, runway 36 it's simple, runway 18 a little bit less, so that is straight to Charlie Hotel, then a right turn, back, and then back to 7.0 of CY. We have to climb at 6,500 feet, max for 10 minutes. So I will show you the charts here from the editing. Sorry, and you will see what I'm on about. Okay, I didn't set up this properly as I like to use it. It's fine right now, but I like to use it black with a lot of declutter and with a 20 nautical mile range, so I can see all the traffic that are. This is my TCAS inset, in fact. So, right turn 225. We are reaching Saleh flight level 140. It is okay. Okay, it's doing this live. So, we are going to have the landing briefing. Now I'm just finishing to plug everything in the board QNH1019er, and we might have some strong wind kicking. So we are landing runway 36 dry. I will have flaps 4 landing at 7,000 kilograms. No ice protection. VREF and VAC are 111 knots set, and the approach will be 126. We are landing with 800 kilograms, 600 required as an alternate and final reserve, and our time to hold is 30 minutes. In case of go around runway 36, it's a single traffic pattern, right hand and 2,100 feet. If it's runway 18, straight ahead to Charlie Hotel with FMS GPS overlay, then right turn back to Charlie Hotel, then left turn back course TILS until 7.0 DME of Charlie Yankee, climb to 6,500 feet, maximum speed 2.0 knots. Okay, so DME bearing 1, I want it to be the GPS, to see why. So if I set the bearing to GPS, it's for a simple reason. In case I forget to switch from the ILS to the GPS in the go around, I still have the GPS information that will show me Charlie Hotel as a NDP indicator, as this aircraft is not equipped with a real NDB receiver. That's just a nice addition. So you can totally serve NDB with your GPS. Just use the bearing. Okay, we are going to descend to flight level 900. Yeah, trim warning. Again, do not worry, this will be fixed in a very soon update. Vertical speed, that's about 1,500 feet a minute. We're going to reduce the speed first. So, the descent checklist is completed. Just a little tip, on the Garmin's, you can see from Peru we have a straight line to Lima Foxtrot Bravo. This is a Garmin bug, not a bug, a feature, but you have to know it if you don't want to be trapped. You have to delete LFLB before your airport before your approach. So you just click clear, OK, and then it's clean. Otherwise, if you follow navigation, you will go direct from Piruf to your airport, which in case is Limastorslimer Bravo. 1000 before, check the speed is good. I hope that everything I'm saying makes sense. If it doesn't, please ask in the comments below. It will be my pleasure to answer it as best as I can. Sorry, my English is pretty broken. Yep, the warning. Also, yeah, the warning is normally triggered at 1000 feet before. This is a laminar thing because I believe it is a percentage of the vertical speed, which doesn't make any sense to me either. So normally on the G1000 and any avionics suite, it's 1000 feet before, not 300 like here. But you see that the blinking works, so you have to have the visual cue on it. So we are passing Louvre at flight level 900. We are going to descend to flight level 80. Set vertical speed and 1400 feet. Trim, yeah.
Trim.
That's good. Whenever the trim sets, I'm looking at the pitch trim indicator. If I see it like rolling full down, I'll be worried. Like very worried. It's not a common failure, but if it fails, you are kind of in trouble. So we're making it to Kenzo, and I will reduce to 210 knots. 1000 feet, 100 because laminar. So just put idle. Also, this is a laminar thing. The oil temperature is going down very quickly once you pull the first level back. This is something we tried to work on, but we are completely unable to do anything. So we are sorry. We'll continue this into 6,500 feet, which is our final altitude on the store. No, vertical speed, good. And we'll just descend at 1,300 feet a minute to be leveled at Pirou. And I want to reduce the speed at 200 knots already. So you can see there is quite a lot of work to do, especially at Chambéry. So I suggest you, if you want to fly here, I suggest you train before. Have a look at the charts. It's really important. And do not forget, a good pilot is always learn 6,500 to 1,000 feet before. So when we reach Pirou, we will be cleared to the ILS. Just type a quick message.
Trim.
Don't need to explain all your life, just need to be coherent. So, passing Pirou to 10, and then I have to reduce at 185 knots. I will do that now. So, now we are going to check the GPS, that we are switching from Pirou to the other one. To ensure that you go to procedures and you say activate approach, and then direct to Pirou, and you see here the line is set, so we are going to do the approach. Oh god, I forgot that. That is one hell of a mistake. It's 1018. BFD. On your 18 set. So now we are safe. Hopefully it was in high pressure air, so it was not a grave mistake, but it could have been. But this is indeed a very bad mistake. So we are going Lima Bravo 403 at 6,500 feet, 185 knots maximum. We are going to reduce to 180 knots just to make sure. Okay, now it's going to be sport. So I will prepare 5,000 feet, which is our target altitude, to be leveled at India Lima Bravo 18 and 170 knots. So 2 nautical miles to go. Approach checklist, then altimeters cross check. You see barrow decision set, crossfeed knob off, exterior lights set, signs as required, and packs advised. We don't have packs, we have a little bit of simulation of the passengers. The approach checklist is completed, next is before landing, and we will do it in the downwind of the desert pattern. Okay, are you ready? I am pretty not. There you go, and we have to descend at a very strong 2,000 feet a minute to be leveled in time. And spoilers, speed brake. You do not want to hesitate to use speed brakes in such conditions, because it's really important to be leveled in time. So I will go to heading mode because everything is set. We are going to retract the speed brakes as we are reaching our target altitude. There you go. I want to go in heading mode and switch the CDI. There you go. We are set for the AS. 170 knots. Turn right now, and I will do as the GPS cue is saying. And to go about here to intercept at a 45 degrees angle, which is a standard intercept, and then I'm going to do a full right turn. So we are in the clouds. I will at -1, so I will kick the anti-ice on. It's a safe protection measure, and I'm going to go localizer. There we go. Speed 160, that's good for me. This is a very high slope approach, so you want to be as slow as possible with the Phenom because it had a real bad time at slowing down. So 160 knots is good, however, so we have plenty of flaps to go to reduce the speed. Speed brakes are up and closed. The glide slope is coming in. Flaps 1, glide approach mode, and you will obviously have a trim warning. Glide slope green. Okay. Flaps 2. So as I said, it's a very strong glide slope. I have flaps 2 selected and almost idle, and you see that the aircraft has a very bad time to decelerate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set gear down, and you will see that the effect of the drag of the gear will be enough to slow down the airplane to hold 160 knots. Okay, we are 4,000 feet, it's 3,500 above ground, give or take. And then I'm going to reduce the speed to over the 126
Trim.
knots, which is this.
Trim.
And flaps 3
Trim. Trim.
indicated.
Trim.
Yeah, so the trim warning is a bit annoying. I'm sorry. So we are runway in sight, still autopilot. I will prepare heading 135. We have 2 nautical miles to cover. We are going 160 knots. So that is 45 seconds off. Okay, so now we are almost all set. I will maintain flaps 3 as my approach flaps. You can see that the airplane has a really bad time to lose speed on such a slope of ILS, so better be configured there. It's not a problem to be fast on the VPT. We are 1000 feet, here is entry green, flaps 3 set. Yaw damper is on, that is normal,
Autopilot.
and I'm going to take manual control, yaw damper off, flight director off, add power, and go right. 2.3. We are
Minimums.
at the opening. Minimums, yeah. Hold it. We said 45, give or take. Tool 125. So we opened at 2 nautical miles, give or take. That is good. And now we are holding 1,800 feet, indicated at 135. Losing speed, more thrust. 48 seconds, right turn 175. Not gaining much altitude. So you want to be at about 50% of N1 to hold your VACC. I want to use 200 feet now, so reduce thrust, push a bit. So you can see that we have a small problem here. We don't have much visibility. So you go to your co-pilot side and have a look. It's best done here at the right seat. So now you're waiting. Go too much below. So we are out of the icing, we can cut off anti-ice now, and we are turning base right now. So go back to the captain's seat, reduce thrust, 20 plus degrees, small descent, there is more. Okay, 300 knots, it's good. So you want to bank as much as you can bank, not be above 30 degrees, but as much as you can to make sure that you intercept the runway axis. 1,700, we are a bit high. Okay, I can see the runway. We are a little bit below the slope, it's totally okay. Flaps full, landing checklist on the slope, and reduce to VRF. I will set 111. Landing checklist, landing gear, down 3 green, flaps are full, yaw damper is off, speed brakes are closed. Current altitude 5,000 feet, that would be good for me. And ice protection.
500.
So This aircraft on a normal 3-degree slope is
400.
approaching at his
300.
landing attitude. So 300 feet, checked. A little bit
200.
faster a few knots, that is not a problem. But Chambéry is such a special
100.
terrain that I feel sorry that you cannot do it. Idle, and I just hold like that for the touchdown. And you can see that you have the ground effect, touchdown, spoilers deployed, and braking. 70 knots, hold the center line, we will vacate by the right here. So I did not apply full braking intentionally, so you do not wear the brakes too much, and you see we can exit 3/4 of the runway, no problem, with a quite long flare because there was a few knots fast on the approach. So here we are, Lima Foxtrot Lima Bravo, and we will go left. Just go left, strobe off, I want the floor up. After landing checklist, flaps and speed brake, up and closed, exterior lights are set, ice protection as required, and cabin we have a delta of 0 psi. Very nice. So we are taxiing to the general aviation, business aviation, sorry, terminal, to the left here. And we will shut down the engines. I hope you appreciated the flight, and that you have learned how to something with me. Again, excuse my very strong French accent, but I'm trying to do my best here. I know that my girlfriend will be watching. She's an English teacher and she will be mocking me for the rest of the time for this video. Anyway, I hope that you have learned something and you have appreciated my company on this flight, and I hope to see you very soon in the VATSIM skies. See ya.